Thanks very much, General Richard. A real pleasure, and I'm humbled to be here. You see what Eric is doing, what has been talked about has been done before, but I'll be building on that, I guess, in this part of the effort, line of operations to our personnel. Pretty short and straight objective. This is relating to our people, nurture and facilitate the well-being of members of the C&E community, and as we say, 7,500 serving, 50,000 plus retired. It's a big community. And there are family and close friends of the community too. So the mission, elaborating a little bit on that, of how do we get there? We want to provide the C&E community with awareness and understanding and access regarding the programs and the services and even information dedicated to the support of our C&E family of serving members, veterans, and families, and to advocate on behalf of the C&E community, and just to make sure that we will advocate, but we are very conscious that we need to do it as a retired community and not cross any boundaries in terms of what a serving person should not advocate. But as you'll see in this presentation later, there are things that are in place that have been done by associations that we will do. So our tasks, a little more details here. Just going to get to my cheap notes here. So identify, consolidate, and publish links. And you saw on semsen.ca what has already been done. And I think that it's a tremendous capability for our retired members. So in this day and age, we won't get everybody. We won't get every retired member. We should get virtually every serving member. But one of the key ways is by the semsen.ca. To connect with our people. Participate in veterans advocacy groups, such as those sponsored by the Council of Defense Associations, the Royal Canadian Legion, and the National Council of Veterans Associations, NCVA. So tuck that acronym in the back of your mind, and RCL for the Legion. Identify and promote groups of communities of interest. And a lot of them you'd see listed as the existing signals organizations. And there are other subgroups of in our community that, and we can facilitate if they haven't already done it, contact, or we can at least through SimSen assist them in doing what they want to do, we believe. Develop a volunteer mentorship program. This may be a bit ambitious, and it'll not be in phase one of what we're doing, but we believe that's a task that we should look at in terms of what the C&E Association can do. And a SEMSEN outreach program for awards and recognition. Again, there are already awards and recognition. The branch office is obviously dealing with it. We heard earlier today of some of the awards and recognitions that have gone out there. But as a C&E Association, there potentially is more that we want to look at doing. And as will be talked about under heritage, we certainly have activities relating to heritage that we also want to get involved in. Branch accoutrements presented to soldiers who are joining our C&E community as young soldiers. We believe that's a very important key thing that we could provide. Other associations, other military associations are doing that kind of thing. It makes sense. The end state we're looking at is an informed membership, able to access all social programs and services that are available to them. An organization that provides relevant and intelligent input to future Canadian Armed Forces capability development, professional association that supports the professional development, advancement, and recognition of its members, and a caring organization. And there are sources of emergency funds, including the branch, and we saw some discussion of that earlier, what the branch had done just in the last year in terms of emergency funding. As a C&E Association, we want to make sure that nobody falls through the gaps. What about retired members that wouldn't necessarily fall under the branch office? We definitely want to make sure that there are no gaps in that kind of potential support for people who need a bit of an emergency support. So the accomplishments to date. We have developed a draft implementation plan, and it's on simpson.ca as just mentioned. We're coordinating with the branch office on issues of overlapping interests, and obviously there's serving and retired members, there's emergency assistance, and if we hear of something and we think the branch office is a place that can assist, we can pass that information on, and vice versa in terms of retired people. The military to civilian transition is crucial. The Ombudsman's Office is working on, they are providing services, and we want to make sure that we tell our members the services that are available through the Ombudsman's Office. And also a C&E Association introduction letter that encourages people who are retiring to get on the simpson.ca site, potentially get an email address, stay in touch when you retire. I think that's one of the most important things we can manage is if you're retiring, keep in touch with the branch. That is, whether you're in a large city or you're living out by yourself. In this day and age, staying connected is much easier to do, and we want to encourage that in retirement. Now, the Royal Canadian Legion has an outreach service bureau, and so we have reached out to them to make sure that we represent that link and make sure that our members know about that as well. We have participated with the Veterans Consultation Assembly, and a letter's been sent by the C&E Association to the Minister of Veterans Affairs supporting an ongoing review of the new Veterans Charter. The Veterans Ombudsman's Office will provide, we believe, by November, information on the programs and services available. We'll get that on Simpson. Under advocacy, as already mentioned, the National Council of Veterans Associations, we would like to make input into that, and we have applied to them for membership in the National Council of Veterans Associations, NCVA. And the Council of Defense Associations, CDA, the C&E Association over the years has actually attended those meetings, but we are really trying to renew it and make it a more reliable, if you want, input. So again, we have the potential to participate in the CDA Institute briefings and potentially put input advocating or proposing solutions from our branch point of view. Again, C&E Association representing the retired input in these efforts. And getting down to the next steps. So we want to do a survey on simpson.ca to identify the people issues of interest or concern. We want to publish the links, and you saw in Simpson that we're a long way towards that already. It's never going to be finished. We'll keep adding links. So those links are available, and they're people are aware of the potential other activities out there related to C&E Association retirees and serving. Make a list of association retired members of the association or even serving who are willing to help others if certain needs come up. So we think we can establish this cadre, if you want, of volunteers willing to help and stand by so that if something comes up, if we hear that somebody needs some assistance, we can help. We want to participate in the Veterans Ombudsman Project to assess and identify all military-civilian transition companies. These are some organizations that are just developing or recently we were becoming aware of that retiring members can get assistance from or may be interested in. And we want to use simpson.ca for communicating updates, news, and opportunities of interest to C&E members, another thing we feel we can improve on and do for retired members. And continue to expand our relationship with the Council of Defense Associations and the NCVA. Community of interest for people with similar interests. Work with current organizations to consolidate and coordinate existing service and assistance and bursary programs. Work with branch leadership to assist in the identification and delivery, to deliver awards and recognition, already touched on. And then in a phase 3, this one is a little further out, develop and implement a volunteer mentorship process for junior officers and NCMs. So what we need for this is help. The main challenge for this line of operation to help our people is to establish the volunteer cadre that can deliver its programs. So we need your help. You can go through simson.ca and contact us. And there's 2 emails there for Brigadier General Kevin O'Keefe, who's traveling in Europe right now, so I'm taking his place here, or myself, and hopefully we'll have a few additional people to put on there. So if there's anything that you hear about that you want to raise on this issue, you do have a contact there, and we want you to volunteer to help out. And I'm speaking now over the web links. We're looking for volunteers that can basically, we need to help each other, particularly in retirement.